Okay, so hello everybody. I am Redacted, and you are.
Yeah, and I'm Matthew, and this is the second episode of our podcast, Chat No Kiseki. And today we're going to be talking about the first game in the Trails in the Sky. Sorry, the first game of the Trails in the Legend of Heroes series, Trails in the Sky first chapter.
Yep. And and so just obviously spoilers for Sky First Chapter. Also, we are
Yep.
going to try and avoid talking about later game spoilers, but I will be putting
Yes.
in before. But well, you would have seen uh, a icon, visual on screen before this started that just said spoilers for these games, and in case we do accidentally spoil something, I'll make sure to put a note of that in the
Yeah.
but before
Yeah.
we start. So
Yeah.
just that way
Yeah.
you
Of
don't
course.
actually get spoiled on something
So
like a Sky Third.
yeah. Though before we start, there have we had some recent news regarding Trails.
Yep,
Um,
very exciting news.
Very exciting news indeed. Um, we're getting a remake for Sky First Chapter. This has been known for a very long time, but we got a brand new trailer for it. We got to see more of the characters. We got to see more of like the new environments of like the enhanced environments. It looked really really good. Some new gameplay mechanics, all that stuff, and it's coming out fall 2025. We don't have an exact release date for it, but we just have a time frame for it. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, and not only that, Shadow dropped yesterday, in fact, was East versus Trails, which is a 3D arena fighting game that was a crossover between the East and Trails franchise to every East and Trails game up until that point. Just
Which is Sky
to
Third.
cross. Yeah, like it was like Sky Third and like up to E7, I believe. So
I
yeah,
I think that's correct. And though I'm not gonna say, but I will say is there's this. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say anything. But it is. I'm really looking forward to it. We are definitely gonna do an episode on it at some point after it releases
yeah,
when we both
yeah.
beat
No,
it.
like
So look forward to
yeah,
that.
no, yeah, no. I'm definitely gonna play the game and like see what's going on with that. I've never played it, so we'll
Same.
see. Looks
Hopefully it's
cool,
good.
but
It likely will be, but looking forward to
yeah,
it.
yeah. If it has like online play, then we can just like fight each other, I guess.
Yeah, that could be fun. Doing an episode with us fighting in the background. That could be fun, actually.
Yeah, yeah. No, maybe we should do that. Okay. But no, like yeah, that's it for the announcements.
Yep.
E- yeah. Just quick recap.
So.
Yep. Sky First Chapter got a new trailer, and we're getting East versus Trails uh localized next year in 2025.
Which is very, very exciting, which means we're getting three Trails games in the span of a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. We
Four if
don't.
we
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
Kai
We don't.
next year as well.
Yeah. No. We get four. Yeah. No. Like let's not test our luck too much, but we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I doubt we're getting Kai next year, but if we do, holy shit, that'd be amazing.
It would be, yeah. Okay, but anyways, enough talking about this. All right, now we're gonna be talking about Sky First Chapter.
So
Okay,
spoilers
what
start now.
spoilers start now for Sky First Chapter if you haven't played it. Okay, three, two,
Two,
one.
one. Okay.
Okay, Sky. Now every trail starts from the beginning, right? Every story starts with the beginning part, and Sky First Chapter starts out with a flashback sequence actually
Yep.
of Estelle, of the main character Estelle and her father Cassius in their
Let's
house during a
go.
particular rainy night,
Yep.
and Cassius brings home a face, a familiar, a kid, and we don't know who this kid is, but Estelle's not very happy about this kid. I mean, she
I
tells
think the
Cassius,
achievement
"Why
name
is
for
my
beating.
present a boy?"
Yep. That is, I still love how that's the achievement name for beating the prologue. Why is my present a boy?
Yeah, like Estelle
It's
gets
just
pretty mad
stupid
about
line.
it, but then they talk a little bit, and then like it flash forwards to a couple years later,
Yeah.
and
You
Estelle
forgot
and
something.
yeah, huh?
Estelle Estelle jumps on Joshua to try
Yeah,
to make a it says, you're sure yelling a lot for someone
yeah,
who's injured.
she jumped on him, and like, and, yeah, and
So good.
apparently. according to the Sky FC remake trailer, she fucking drop kicked him.
Yep. It is such a funny sequence.
Yeah, she fucking
I
drop
love
kicked
it.
him. Like it was kind of hard to tell because the game's like graphics were limited, but hey,
I'm so glad they kept that in because holy shit, that's one of the most, that is such a great introduction to Estelle's
yeah,
character.
yeah, no, it's really good. But yeah, so the game like flash forwards to like later to the current point we're at. Estelle and Joshua are like they're hanging out, and eventually the conversation eventually goes on to them wanting to be bracers.
Yep.
Bracers are basically kind of like problem solvers in the Trails world. They help people out with requests and they fight monsters and they're kind of like police, but they're not really police.
They're non-government place.
No, like
Yeah.
I think that they're kind of are like, but like
They're
not really.
they're the international police that don't interfere with government matters.
Yeah, pretty much. So like they keep most of their work to like saving like their code is like mainly to save citizens to put the
Yep.
priority of citizens above anything else,
Yep.
and that is a thing that is very prominent through pretty much every bracer character you meet in
Yeah.
Trails. So
Yeah. And in Crossbell, that gets a lot of focus, even though our main characters in Crossbell are bracers.
yeah, no. Like, but
It's
yeah,
really
like that's just
interesting
a general rule of thumb with bracers that like for the most part they will try to uphold the bracer code of like always prioritizing citizens above anything else.
for the most part. Yeah.
And bracers also make an appearance in every arc. They are
Yep.
never not
Never
included.
absent. Yep. There's always at least one bracer character.
At least one or two bracer characters, yeah. And
Yeah.
always one prominent one in
Yep.
every arc.
Yep.
But like, yeah. So yeah, so basically Estelle and Joshua aspire to be bracers. And they eventually go to the guild. They go to the Bracer Guild in their town to, you know, get their badge, and they meet up with Sherazard Harvey. She's certainly a character.
She's very entertaining.
Yeah, she she's a very flirtatious like femme
Yep.
fatale type.
Yep.
Yeah, they meet up with her and like you go through the first dungeon, the Trails Kiseki sewer as I like to call it
Yep.
dungeon. That pretty much every game has the fucking sewer dungeon.
Yep.
You
There's
go in
something
there, you
funny
do your
about that
thing.
that I will bring up
Yeah,
later on.
yeah. No, the joke is that like there's always a fucking sewer dungeon in one of these
Yep.
games.
At least one. Yep. Some games have two.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the first instance of the sewer dungeon. So you go in there, you fight some monsters, you fight a little boss, and then you get your badge.
Yep.
Oh, all done and good, right? But no, like their goal is to try to get to the top of the junior bracer rank and eventually become senior bracers.
Yeah.
Bracer Guild has ranking systems and like higher up and such you get more recognized, better jobs, all that stuff.
Yeah, the big thing that you need to do to become a senior bracer is to get the recommendation from every branch in the country. Which it's nice that that in Liberl that it isn't, which is the name of the country the games the Sky Trilogy take place in, is that it's not
Yeah,
very big. I can imagine how brutal that would be in like Erebonia or Calvard, because
yeah, no,
holy
like
crap.
so basically, yeah, it's basically your excuse to like walk around all of the borough and
Yeah.
see every single place that the game has to offer.
Yep.
So yeah, the main like thing of the game is that you go around all these different places, helping out like these different places with their problems, all and whatever, and then you meet a new character every time you go to one of these places, and like they become like a kind of like a temporary party member for that little section, and then they leave, and you
Yeah.
get a new one, so on and so forth, and
First chapter.
you just keep doing that until the game is like at the end, pretty
Yeah.
much.
First chapter is for most of first chapter, the only consistent party members are Estelle and Joshua.
Yep.
So it is something
Yeah.
because
So
it at some point some fights are very difficult because you only have Estelle and Joshua. Thankfully, in the final
yeah,
dungeon, you're allowed to use whoever you want from the game's party.
Yeah, no, you're allowed to use any of the 8 characters.
I think that's the right number. I could be
Okay,
wrong, but
yeah,
I
yeah.
think you're right with eight.
Uh, 3. Yeah, I believe it's 8. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, like you could use one. You could use any of the 8 in a 4-person party.
yeah. Those
But
and Josh are both mandatory.
they are mandatory. Yes, you have to use them. But like,
Yeah.
yeah. So like, my recommendation is make Estelle like a healer or like a
Yeah.
support of some kind because
I personally like using Estelle as the Earth Wall slash Earth Guard, the Earth Guard caster, and Earth Guard EX
yeah,
caster,
make her
because
yeah
holy
make her like a
shit.
make her support, give her like healing crafts or something,
Yeah,
healing arts. I mean,
yeah. She doesn't get any healing crafts. That's
and then, yeah,
flowing
and then
Olivia.
let Joshua like be your main attacker because
Yep.
he's gonna be carrying you a lot throughout the game.
I like that detail because it ties into second chapter very nicely, but I won't get into why because, spoilers.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
yeah.
only
But yeah,
spoiling
like
first chapter here.
yeah, no, that's a general rule of thumb with first chapter. Like, have Estelle be kind of like a support to help Joshua like get through
Yeah.
fights faster.
Yeah. Because Josh was especially like his initial S craft is very good, but when he gets Black Fang, which is his last S craft, holy
Yeah,
shit, he tears through a lot of stuff like wet tissue paper.
yeah, no, like, yeah, like abuse his double strike craft. It's very
Yep.
good, and
Very good.
also
Okay.
abuse his really good art lines. His
Yes.
time art lines are really good.
Yeah.
Like he's very very good. Like always make sure to like make sure to get have Joshua be your guy to do all these fights with, and then have Estelle support him.
Yeah.
And then
Because
if you have an extra character treated as kind of like either like, oh, I have Chloe, for example, she's my healer or something, or oh,
yeah.
I have Olivia, so he's like an extra caster.
Yeah. And then also in the Sky Games arts are very very good. Like they're much better than
They do a lot
crafts
of damage.
usually.
They do a lot of damage, and there's a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, especially the Earth Wall or Earth Guard arts. Those are
Yeah,
quite possibly they're high up there on
yeah,
the list of most busted arts in the series
pretty
because
much, yeah.
they grant
Um,
your character immunity from one attack no matter what, and
yeah, that is absurdly strong for like anything really, because there's enemies that will hit you very hard with certain moves.
yep.
Um, and then there's also bosses that can S-craft you. Oh yeah, I
Oh
guess we
yeah.
just split that. Yeah, S-crafts are basically kind of like a super move that let like all the party members get access to, and even some bosses can use them.
Yep.
They're basically just like super moves that do a lot of damage, and
Yeah.
like preferably you want to have a guard up so you can block them. But
Yep. And then there's a neat little mechanic only you have access to. Thank God the bosses don't have access to this. Called S breaking, meaning you can just say, "Oh, there's a crit turn coming up. I'm just gonna use an S craft that turn because fuck the enemy." You can just say, "Oh, it's my
yeah,
turn now," and S break to have that character be the next turn that
yeah.
goes.
Um,
It's
Yeah,
so stupid broken,
the Trail series
but
kind
it's
of prides
fun.
itself on its like on the little timeline like battle forecast that it has,
Yeah.
and basically yeah, the enemies and the players share the same forecast,
Yep.
and there are certain things you can do like S breaking where you could like overwrite certain turns to make sure the enemy doesn't get them.
Yeah, it's very nice. Like, especially with a specific character, especially with Chloe's S-Craft, which is just a full party heal. I was like, oh, I'm almost dead. No, I'm not.
Yeah, no, but yeah.
So stupid.
So with Sky First Chapter, you kind of like be there and expect that like the story's like kind of it's a bit slower,
Yeah.
like not super high stakes for the most of the game. Like you're kind of just cruising along, doing your thing, meeting new characters, traveling around Burl, doing all this such. And well, this is the
40-hour prologue.
massive spoiler. Um, click off right now. Click off right now if you don't want to be spoiled on the
It
ending of first
is,
chapter.
yeah, it is a very good ending. Highly recommend seeing it for yourself because holy
Yeah,
shit.
It is so good. Yeah, like this is your payoff for playing the game for about 30 or 40
It
hours,
is
I'd say.
so worth it. It's called the 40-hour
Okay,
prologue for a reason, but it
pretty
is
much.
very worth it.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this is your spoiler warning. I'm telling you this is it. Three, two, one. Okay, so basically, there's this scholar guy, right? He kind of appears every so often throughout the game. He kind of watches your movements and like,
Professor Alba.
and yeah, Professor Alba, and you're just like, why does this guy keep following me? That's weird. And then
Yeah,
like, you do the Grand Cell Castle segment, and like, um, it's pretty eventful. Some things are going on, all that stuff. But then,
yeah.
uh, you fight against First Lieutenant Lorenz, who's one of the villains, and the party fights against him, and then Joshua's
Such
kind
a
of
hard
off doing
fight.
his own thing.
Yep.
Joshua's kind of off doing his own thing, and then oh boy, um, Joshua and Professor Alba meet up,
This is after
and
the final dungeon, by the way.
yeah, this is after you beat this is after you beat the final boss, by the way,
Yep.
and like yeah,
You think you
Joshua
could
and Professor
finally
Alba meet
celebrate?
up. They meet up, and Professor Alba snaps his fingers and flashes all of Joshua's memories before his eyes, which completely fucks him
Yep.
entirely. Like, he is just, oh. And then, okay, Estelle was wondering where Joshua is. She goes to the top of Grand Cell Castle. Joshua's there. They meet up. Estelle and Joshua share a kiss,
Yep.
and well, Joshua stuns her, or had like some sort of
Gives her
poison
a
in his
sleep
mouth,
pill, yeah.
and stuns her because he doesn't want her following him. And basically, like, yeah, Joshua's like saying, like, these are the times I spent with you were some of the best times I ever spent with anyone else. Blah blah blah. All that, he's kind of, now Joshua's mission is to stop this Professor Alba, who is by this point already revealed to be Wiseman.
But yeah.
Um, and yeah, his mission is to now stop this person, and then the game ends.
Yep. Game ends right there. As the game is soapbox out and the credits are all. It's such an evil cliffhanger. Like that's the
Yeah,
I can't wait
this
for the
game.
people who play Sky first chapter when the remake gets released to have to wait for Sky's second chapter to get released. It's such a
Yeah,
painful
like I
wait, but
would.
but you have to
Yeah,
pay your
no.
dues at some point.
Yeah, no. Like I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if like the people who played the first chapter remake like pulled out their fucking potato PC just to play
Yep.
second chapter
Yep. Or just
or
decide
something.
like
I
I
don't
need
know.
to. Yep. Or just need to know
I
what
need to.
happens next
I
and
need to
just
know.
look up a
Yeah,
let's
like
play.
it's kind of like, yeah, like if you go through first chapter like for the first time without wanting to play second chapter like immediately afterwards is actually like, I feel like that's crazy because like the game
Yeah.
literally ends on that cliffhanger. You're just like, fuck, I want to know what happens next. Like,
And
shit.
the worst part
What
is
the
there was a 4 year localization gap between first and second chapter. To be clear, not blaming the localizers, I'm just stating a fact.
fuck? Yeah, no, that
That
was
wait
like, yeah.
must have been awful.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like, good thing I wasn't a Trails fan back in like
Oh yeah.
2015 ish, but yeah,
2011 was when first chapter released. 2015
yeah,
is when second chapter released.
yeah, no, back in fucking 4 years for the next game. Like, no.
Yep. Yep. That
But
must have been an
yeah,
awful wait.
yeah, no, like nowadays we pretty much only have to wait like around like one or like a year and a half or like, a year at most of, like nowadays. But like, yeah,
Yeah. Thankful it's you kids getting into trails nowadays don't know how good you have it.
yeah, we have, yeah,
I got
we
right at
only
the
have, yeah, yeah, no, we only have it so good because of like the new look of the new localization team.
yeah, especially because of Geofront's localizations for the crossbow games.
Yeah, no, like that's the only reason why we even have it so good nowadays, is because like they got so many
Yeah.
of the games out of the way. But yeah, no, like first chapter, it does not leave you satisfied by
Nope,
the
it
end.
does not pull it does not pull its punches right at the end. Like
Yeah,
the it knows right when to pull the rug out from under you because like it's like, oh yeah, we beat the final boss, let's go, and you're celebrating with and it's still celebrating with Joshua. Great, that's fun. Then
yeah,
Vice, and then Alba comes up to Joshua as soon as Estelle leaves. It's revealed. It's kind of revealed what happens, and then Joshua leaves right as soon as you were starting to celebrate. Like Jesus.
Yeah,
Also, I think one of the best parts about the Alba twist is that, like, at least for me, I didn't see it coming. The game just like complete, like the game does just gives you enough to work with that you could realistically figure it out, but not enough clues that it's blatantly obvious.
oh yeah, no, like I was still like pretty shocked by it.
Yeah, yeah, like
Like
I
I
was not expecting
yeah,
that.
in retrospect, I probably should have seen it coming, but like
Yeah,
in like when I was playing the game back in the day, I sure as hell didn't think it because
yeah,
the character was like so minor, you know.
yeah, like yeah, he had a portrait, but like Niall had a portrait, Dorothy had a portrait, so he just
Yeah, like
assumed.
most pretty much
So
every other character had one. Yeah,
well,
like
every other minor character that was at least somewhat relevant had it, so why
yeah,
not
yeah,
Alba?
no, like yeah. It's like oh, you never would have like you never would have like yeah expected him really, you know.
Yeah, no, like was such a
But yeah,
good
like
twist.
yeah, but yeah, when so like when you like go back and replay FC, you kind of start seeing all like the little like
Yep.
you start seeing like all the little weird things about it. And you're just like, okay, well,
Yeah, how did I
yeah,
not see this?
maybe I should have saw this coming when I first played. But hey, that's the whole
Yeah.
point, right? You know, you're
Yeah,
supposed
that's
to
the best
get
kind of
fooled by
twist in
it,
my
and then
opinion.
like if you decide to go back, you see all the little pieces that were
Yep.
foreshadowed.
Yep.
But
Such a good twist.
yeah, no, like yeah, no, first chapter is a very good game in my opinion. It's not like my favorite Trails
Not
game,
by a
obviously.
long shot.
Like no, like I will say, like first chapter is definitely like a good game, but like it's probably on the lower end just because
Yeah. The other
for
games
the
are
most
just
part
that good.
the other games are better. Yeah, for the most part the other games are just better than first chapter.
Yeah,
But
it's
like
personally
like
my number six Trails game, but
yeah, like it's probably somewhere in the top 10 for me. Like
yeah,
because like it's good, but like it's not like as good as other ones.
yeah,
And like and that's fine. Like as a introduction to this series, it does the job well enough as a the 40-hour prologue as everyone calls it.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad I started with first chapter instead of Cold Steel 1 because I think first
yeah,
chapter is just better as a starting point. Uh,
it
and
is.
also and also
It has, it's more like focused on like the cast and such.
yeah, and then also its immediate sequel doesn't spoil the previous games.
Yeah,
So, like I mean
well,
second
yeah,
chapter spoils the previous
it can't.
game, not but
It
you're
can't
expected to
spoil
play it.
these games.
Yeah. It can only
Like
spoil first chapter, but
yeah, it can only spoil first chapter.
yeah, and let's be honest here. If you're playing second chapter first, you're you should expect to be spoiled.
Yeah, no, like literally in that case, like that, there's like, like
It's
that
on
game
you.
literally, yeah, like that's the game can literally only spoil first chapter, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, Cold Steel 2 spoils a lot of the crossbow games,
Yeah,
so
it does. But yeah, like yeah, first chapter is definitely a good game. It's definitely a good starting point for this
yeah,
series. Like a lot of game series tend to have very like rough first games, but
not this.
Trails is one of those. Trails is one of those games where I don't think the first game is that rough. Really,
Yeah,
it still
it
holds
definitely aged bad.
up.
It aged very
It
well
still holds up. It still holds up 20 years later.
over 20 years and a few months later. Yeah, it is
Yeah, like
very
yeah,
impressive how well it holds up.
yeah. No, it's really good for like its time. Like for a game released back on the PSP, like it still looks pretty good even in 2024.
Yeah, no, it still holds up amazing. Like not even just gameplay wise, it holds up very well visually. First chapter definitely has the most bare bones combat system in Trails, but like it's the first
It does.
entry. Of course it's gonna have the most bare bones. And it's not like
Yeah,
second chapter remains bare bones. There's additions in second chapter, so
yeah, no, they add in like some extra combat things you can do, but like it's nothing too major. The gameplay loop is still pretty much like
yeah.
pretty much the same for the combat system.
Yeah. So
And
now we
like we
spoiled
didn't
the
really
ending. Sorry, continue.
yeah yeah, like, and the series does get like more drastic changes later, but
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we spoiled the ending, do you think we should go back and talk about some of the other plot beats?
I mean, yeah, sure. Okay, well,
Uh,
I
so
guess we could talk. I guess we could talk about like some of the characters you meet in this game.
yeah. Uh, so it's we already talked a lot about Estelle and Joshua, but their arcs are so much better than the second game. Well, not better, but
Yeah,
like
like
are so much more
yeah,
or
okay,
so much
yeah,
more developed in the second game, I should say.
yeah, like you definitely see like little glimpses of it. Like, okay,
Yeah.
there's this one scene that kind of sits in my mind a lot. Okay, so basically, there's a part in the game where like you do like a play for a school,
Yep.
and
Oh yeah.
Estelle and Joshua are part of the play. They do it with like one of the party members they meet, Chloe. Her name is Chloe. And like they do the play and such, and then like it all goes well, but then uh and then like later on in the next chapter in Zeiss, when they're in which is a mining city, they go there to do some stuff. Estelle starts having some conflicting feelings about what happened. She feels like Chloe and Joshua are getting a little bit too close, and like, and she's a little bit jealous of that. And this is kind of like the first indication that Estelle sees Joshua as something more.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting to see how they develop. So I'm glad that they like this big scene that sticks out in my mind, at least for like how they like and how like in the hinting at Joshua, like Joshua's inner turmoil is actually in the prologue on Perzel Farm, where Joshua wants to kill the monsters, but instead of just letting them go, and everyone else essentially talks him out of it. And then what he
Yeah,
says after that to Estelle is just very interesting, and it hints at something more to his character, which is explored a lot more in second chapter and late first chapter
yeah, I
to an
know.
extent.
So, but yeah, okay. So yeah, we talked a little bit about some of the characters in this game. Like
Yep,
yeah, Estelle and Joshua are the two main leads. They're gonna be the ones you see the most of. You're gonna see them like hanging out, doing their thing, developing. Getting to know each other better.
yep,
Growing closer, all that stuff. But yeah, you also meet Sherazard. He's like the first one of the party members you get that like switches out.
so
Yeah, she's
entertaining.
an older. Yeah, she's one of the
Senior
higher rank
bracers.
bracers, and she's one of the senior bracers. Yeah, and she's kind of like a mentor figure to both Estelle and Joshua.
Yep,
She teases them. She's very like playful with them.
yeah, the
But
silver
she means
streak.
well. She means well and wants them to like become better people through
Yep.
their experiences.
Yep, it is. Yeah, and then that she's your only other party member for the prologue, but you don't really need a fourth. There's not really much. They're not really too many difficult fights there. Like what
No,
you gonna
not really.
struggle against Josette?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. One of the early plot lines is there's a girl who like visits Cassius and gives her like a note, and oh, the big twist is that she's a sky pirate.
Yep,
Whoa.
yep. Yeah, I didn't. I'm ashamed to admit I didn't see that one coming. I figured there was something off about her. I didn't. I was not expecting her to be one of the Sky Bandits.
Like, oh,
But
she's a part of Sky Pirate crew, and
yep,
and her and Estelle bicker because they hate each other.
yep, yep. It's so
But
funny.
yeah, like this game definitely has a lot of wacky hijinks and like very
Yep.
slice of life esque elements. If
Yeah,
that's like
it's
what you
not
like,
the worst about that. I would definitely say it's called Steel 1, but it's in
yeah,
terms of like
yeah, Cold
wacky
War
anime
definitely.
hijinks.
Yeah, they
But
do a lot of there's like lighter whack. There's like some lighter like not
yeah.
super high stakes stuff in this game a
Yeah,
lot.
I would say first chapter handles it better just because it doesn't feel like it's all the time. Like Close to 1
Yeah,
doesn't do it all the time, but like
yeah. No, there's
it's
still like
definitely more
moments.
apparent there.
Yeah, there's still more like serious moments. Like anything
Yeah,
involving like Joshua and like
his
anything
backstory.
involving Joshua and Estelle's relationship when it comes into question and like whatever like situation they have themselves in, all that stuff. But yeah,
Yep.
And I believe after you meet Scheherazade, you meet Olivier, who is
Yep.
a traveling bard.
He is
Totally,
he is so
totally,
funny.
totally a traveling bard. Okay, anyways,
Yep, he is
yeah,
very entertaining.
this guy is a character, bro.
He is.
He is so fucking stupid. Like
He's
he is like the dashing nobleman who fucking
yep.
does all these like fucking goofy things. Like he fucking
Yep.
plays uh
Loot.
his fucking lute. He plays his lute on your first introduction to him.
He's
Going down
amazing.
playing a song.
Yeah, I would say Olivier, just coming off of first chapter, is my favorite male character. He is.
Yeah,
I will say though, he is topped by another character after playing second chapter, but like, holy shit, he is still so funny.
yeah, he's a pretty like charming and funny character. You see him a lot throughout this game, and like
Yeah.
yeah, he's pretty fun. But yeah, and then yeah, I think after you meet Olivier, you meet Chloe. Okay,
Yep.
so Chloe is a student at the Genis Royal
Jenna's Royal
Academy,
Academy.
which is a prestigious school, prestigious like a higher class model student school in Liberl.
Yep.
And like Estelle and Joshua like cross paths with her, and like they kind of like get to know each other. Estelle and Chloe are very much opposites of each other. Estelle's very like outgoing and boisterous, very tomboyish,
Yep.
while Chloe's like very refined, quiet,
Yep.
and like that kind of comes into play. Like they kind of clash with each other in that sense, but like at the end of the day, they still come to understand each other as good friends.
Yeah. Not like Josette.
Yeah, no, Josette and Estelle never really even like considering like later games, like yeah, they
Yep.
never ever really they get
They still
along.
start bickering. Yeah, they like they're not always at each other's throats, but they so often are.
Yeah, like, but yeah, no, like Chloe's like, is very much like refined and like elegant and such.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe an indicator to some things later. Who
Yep.
knows?
Who knows? And then you get Agate after you
Yeah, and
get
then, okay,
Chloe.
yeah, Agate is another one of the higher rank racers, and oh man, this guy is an asshole. Like
In this game, yes. He's
in
more
this game,
like
he's mean,
he
but
is.
he's a very mean guy. Like he's all like he's like all about rushing in head first, fucking going in head a hot head, fucking whatever. And like he's
Yeah.
also like, he's very loud mouth. He swears a lot too.
Yep. Like second chapter makes him such a good character, but we can't talk about that here. So
Yeah,
like
so like yeah, isolated in this game, like he's fine as like a hothead
yeah.
kind of guy, and you kind of see glimpses of like what they would do with him later, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, Agate's actually the one who topped Olivier after playing second chapter, but it is those two are still very close in my head,
Yeah,
but for who's
yeah,
my
no,
favorite
yeah,
male Sky
Agate,
character.
yeah, no, like Agate also kind of like Scheherazade in a sense, kind of also serves like a bit of a mentor figure to Estelle and Joshua in some
Yeah.
sense. Like he
Yeah.
also kind of guides them a little bit, even though like he a lot more brash about it, but still
Yeah.
he still helps them when it counts, which is nice. Okay, and then yeah, after you meet Agate, you meet Tita, and
He
you meet Tita
is.
and Zeiss.
Yep.
Tita is she's a small child. She's an inventor. She's like the daughter of like a big inventor in Liberl. Her family are very much characters.
Yep.
um, they are very fucking like insane wacko characters, but and like that didn't really translate much into Tita. Like she's kind of shy, kind of
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah, Tina is very fun. Like she's one of the better characters just isolated in this game, but
Yeah,
I
Like
love
Tita's a
her.
sweet little. Yeah, she's a sweet, kind
She's
child.
very fun.
She's very like shy. She wants to like be she wants to be a good inventor and like kind of
Yeah.
get herself out there more. Like have people acknowledge her accomplishments and such. And like
Yeah,
when
I
she meets up with Joshua, it's kind of oh these are like some of the first people that like don't think I'm weird or something.
yeah. It's very, very fun to watch, especially later on in that chapter, Tita and Agate's dynamic.
Yeah.
Like there's very much so payoff for in second chapter for it. There's a lot of
Yeah, for
payoff in
sure.
second chapter.
Yeah, no.
But
Yeah, no. Second chapter does a lot more with the characters that are
yeah.
introduced here. But yeah, we
Second
can't really go
chapter
into
and
that right
first
now. But
chapter were originally meant to be one game, but then the scope got too big, so they had to split it up into two.
yeah, that is yeah. Maybe I should have mentioned this in the first episode. But yeah, something that is like very apparent is that like yeah, Trails is an ongoing series, right?
Yeah.
So plans change a lot. You know,
Yep.
like
Cold Steel
things
is
don't go as
originally meant to be
planned.
two games.
Yeah, Cold Steel, like for example, like the later Cold Steel arc was meant to be 2 games, and then they had to split it into three, and then they realized, oh shit, we probably should make it 4 games because we
Yep.
wasted too much time in Cold Steel 3. Let's make a fourth game.
And then they
Uh,
made Reverie.
yeah, they made Reverie, which has like another like because like a Cold Steel 4.5.
Yup. It's really funny. Just
So like
like
yeah,
dude,
they didn't like properly close off every like loose end until like the end of Reverie with Cold Steel.
yup. And even then, there's still some things left loose.
Oh yeah, no, there's some things left. The fucking game like
Later
shows it, but
games,
like
yeah.
okay, yeah, no, but yeah, like the this game for the foundation of the party members, they do their jobs fine. They definitely get expanded upon later, but yeah, and then
Yeah.
yeah, the last party member you meet, which is in the penultimate chapter, is Zin. Zin is another bracer. He's
Other,
another
or
like
as I
pirate.
like to say, who? I know who Zin is, but like, I don't think Falcom does, at least until Daybreak.
Yeah, no, like Zin. Okay, yeah, like Zin, like he's a fine character. He's a big guy. Big strong guy. He
Yeah,
means
he's
well.
fun.
He's got a soft heart. But like, yeah, one thing that's very apparent is that like he's definitely the character that gets like the least amount of screen time out of the original Sky
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah, he's like the Haru of Trails.
I probably wouldn't go that far, but
Yeah, no, that's just a joke, but yeah.
yeah,
You're right. Zin has more screen time than that.
yeah, like Zin probably has more screen time than she does. But like, yeah,
Because
Zin
at least
is
he has his own arc.
like Zin has an arc, but like I think the issue with Zin's arc is that like comparatively to the other ones, it's
Yeah.
not like as good.
Yeah.
And then they kind of forget about him for a long time until they bring him back in a later game, and like he's good there, he's pretty good
Yep.
there, but like he's still
He was
just
missing
fine, like
he
he's
was
still
missing
just
for
like
seven
Zin.
games.
But like
Yeah,
yeah,
he
like
was missing
Zin,
for
like Zin,
7 games.
but like I do still like Zin. Like there's definitely a lot of people who still like. I still do like him. Like, he's still a good character, but like yeah, out of the main party members, he's probably the weakest one.
Yeah. Also, he was originally called Zane in the original translation, so if you see that name floating
Oh
around, that's why.
yeah, no. Like if you ever see the name Zane going around, yeah, that's like his old translation name. The new
Yep.
one that like yeah, Xseed, the new version of Sky put in was Zin, and then like yeah, and that's the name they've kept all the way
For
up until
Daybreak.
current like English game Daybreak 1.
Yeah, so at least it kept up. It's been mentioned like what, twice, if
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and like yeah, Zin's name has been mentioned a couple times like before
Yeah,
Daybreak, but yeah,
just
but like yeah,
passing
but
mention.
yeah,
He's got
but
a
yeah,
worse
like
treatment
so
than
yeah, like so yeah, Zin yeah maybe like Zin is like he's a good character, but like yeah, probably don't get too attached to him because
yeah.
they don't use him very much.
Yeah, I'd say him and the second chapter second chapter's new party member, I won't say the name of, uh, those two get the worst of it in terms of Falcom saying, "Who are you again?" to them.
Yeah, they just never use them sadly. But like yeah,
Yeah.
like Zin's the last character you get in the game, and yeah, you don't get any more characters, and then like yeah, the
Yep.
finale chapter happens. You can use any character that you had from any of the other
Yeah.
chapters in that chapter. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
then
but yeah, like just um okay. So I guess we can talk about some of the prominent NPCs you meet in this game, I suppose.
yep. Uh,
Um
who should we start? I just want to mention she's the only one that can drink Shara under the table.
Yeah, Ina, Ina is the first receptionist, the first guild receptionist you meet in this game, and she is her and
Very fun.
Sherazard are friends. Her and Sherazard are friends. You know, they go back. They mention this.
Yep.
Um, and then like yeah, her and Sherazard go crazy under the fucking table. Ina very much so can drink her under the table. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're pretty fun from like the time they're there with screen time.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess like a more prominent NPC in this game are the news reporter characters.
Yes.
This is a
Dorothy.
character trope that is in every Trails arc. There is always a news reporter character,
Yep.
and Niall and Dorothy are the first incarnations of the news reporter character, and man, they are so fun.
Yeah. Nio and Dorothy.
Niall,
I will say this. Nio and Dorothy are still my favorite NPC are some of my favorite reporter NPCs up until the halfway through the intermission of Daybreak 1. I might end up preferring the Daybreak ones at the when I'm done with their arc, but at the moment Nio
yeah,
and Dorothy have remained untouched ever since Sky First chapter.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, Niall and Dorothy, like, yeah, what makes their dynamic so fun is that, like, yeah, Niall is like the very much the guy who like knows his thing. Like Dorothy's like the
Yep.
fucking stupid, dumb, like
Yep. But
newbie
it's
reporter, and like
yeah.
yeah, they clash a lot in that sense. And like yeah, you meet up with them a lot throughout the game, and like they have a lot of very fun interactions. You know, they're great. I like them a lot.
Yeah, Nio and Dorothy are very fun.
Yeah,
Uh
and like yeah,
and then
they are like a pretty prominent NPCs in like second chapter as well. A
yeah.
little bit in third, but like that's about it.
We've already talked about Josette.
Yeah,
Uh,
Josette. Yeah,
Josette,
with
Josette,
Josette.
Josette.
Yeah, with Josette, it's kind of hard because like they don't really use her that much in first chapter, really.
Second chapter, same story. Third,
Yeah,
same
it's second
story.
chapter. Yeah, it's second chapter and third they use her a little bit more, but not really that much more.
Yeah, like what happens with Josette is you see her in the prologue, you see her in chapter one, you see her in the final chapter, and
Yeah,
then you see her
like
like for like what? Not even for like one series of events, and that's it.
yeah, and like it's Sky Third. I think she's like one of the first party members you get in the game.
Yeah, she's number two. Wait, no,
Yeah,
yeah, number two.
well, yeah, she's like
Barring
one of the
the
first party members you get.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you need a
but like
user, so
you have to use her for that section. Yeah, and like yeah, Josette. Yeah, Josette is very much like she's fun. Like she's a fun character. Like in when like interacting with like with Don and Kyle who are her Sky Pirate buddies. Like I appreciate that dynamic there, but like yeah, they don't really use this character too much, so probably don't get
yeah.
too attached to them.
Not that it's very hard to not to do that, but no offense to Josette fans out there, but not the biggest
Yeah,
fan.
I don't think I've met I don't think I've met a single Josette fan ever. Like
Yeah,
I
like
think I've met a fan. I think I've met a fan for like almost every other like unpopular character.
in Trouser just in general.
Yeah, like I think I've met more people that like certain unpopular characters over Josette. Like I think Josette's not even like really like a bad character. She's just like a
She's
character no one
not.
really has as their favorite. Like what?
Yeah, yeah. Like I think the only let me put it like this: I have met more fans of the Gourmet King from Persona 3 than I have Josette fans.
Yeah, no. Like
Wait,
I
one
don't
is
think I've
still
met.
more than zero.
Yeah, I don't think I've met anyone other than you. But
Yep, I'm the only person I've ever met that likes the Gourmet King.
yeah, no, I don't think I've ever met anyone other than you. But yeah, like
Yeah,
Josette, like yeah, I've never met anyone that has like Josette, like oh she's my favorite character. Like no, like
yeah.
never.
I mean,
And
she's
there's certain
fine.
characters in the series. There's certain characters in the series that like yeah, they're not bad, but like they're like no one's favorite.
Yeah, they're just fine. And when and in a series full of characters who are usually amazing, that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I know.
Like Josette,
Like
like if Josette was in like within most other series, she'd probably be one of the better characters to an extent.
she probably would be. She probably would be,
But like
but
that just goes to show how good Trail's characters are.
oh yeah, for sure. But yeah. So basically, like yeah, like and then like you meet a couple other NPCs in the game, but like they're not really
Yeah.
too prominent, in my opinion.
I mean other that I mean yeah, there's also the during the Genesis Royal Academy part of the game, it's very entertaining to see Jill and Hans, their
Yeah.
dynamic. Those are very fun. And Jill's the one who forced Joshua into a dress, so that's
Okay. Yeah.
points
Like
right
that was yeah
there.
that was one part I kind of glossed over when I was talking about the play. Was that yeah
Yeah.
Joshua's the princess in this play.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
the princess, and like Estelle and Chloe are like the dashing commanders that like want to win her affections.
It's so funny. And honestly though, I've seen some I'm on r/com. Don't go looking for this because it does spoil stuff. Uh on most evil thing each character did, the one for Joshua was wore a dress better than Estelle and Chloe.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
Like
funny. And then it
that's
happens
kind of
again in the later part
oh yeah,
in during the final chapter where he has to wear a maid uniform.
yeah, no, it happens later on, and it's pretty pretty spooky. But like
Yeah.
yeah, like I guess it's kind of like a joke that's kind of very prominent, I guess, in like later
Yeah.
games. Like they kind of
I
get this joke going for a while.
Yeah, I think the best part about it is that it's actually referenced in Reverie.
Yeah,
So,
it is. Yeah,
it's
with a
so good.
with a certain team combination. Yeah,
Yeah, it's so good.
yeah, it's
I won't say that until we get to Reverie, which won't be for a while, but all I will say is,
yeah,
holy shit, it's so
yeah.
worth
No,
it.
like yeah, no. They definitely don't forget about that.
Nope. Nope.
They definitely don't forget about Joshua cross dressing 2 times.
Yep. Yep.
But yeah, no, just there's a lot of very like fun little moments throughout this game. You know, like
Yeah.
it definitely like it definitely like sets up like the world and all these different places you go to. Like kind of builds the foundation for what they would do in the next game.
Yeah.
Which like yeah, and
Oh,
like that's
there is
fine and
one
all,
other
but
prominent NPC we haven't talked about.
huh? Oh yeah.
Colonel
Hmm.
Richard, the
Oh
Colonel
yeah, yeah,
Richard's Lonely
yeah,
Art School Band.
yeah, yeah.
I
Colonel
made that
Richard, yeah,
meme and
he's
I'm rather proud of it.
yeah, Colonel Richard, he's a character like you meet like occasionally in Sky First Chapter. Um,
Yeah,
you know, he's the colonel of like the army of Burl, and he's kind of a big name going around, and like he talks to you. He seems a little bit weird, I guess, but like you don't really pay it no mind to for the most part,
yeah. Until
and
the
like
final part of the game where it's revealed he's been a naughty, naughty boy and is trying to stage a coup.
yeah, he is trying to stage a coup with the other like other suspicious characters in this game, but like yeah,
Yep,
and, like he eventually gets like oh, hey bro, like you're not doing good things, man. Like you snap out of it,
yeah,
and like yeah, and
yeah.
like
And it's
and you
revealed
get to
he
see
was
the
being mind controlled by Alba after you beat him. It was
yeah
before you
he
beat him,
was
he was mind controlled, but after you beat him, it's revealed it was Alba doing it.
yeah it was Alba who was mind controlling him. So yeah, so like yeah, Richard is kind of like a victim of like a victim of being
Yeah,
manipulated by a greater
yeah,
power. Something that Trails like something that Trails like definitely touches upon a lot throughout the
yeah,
series. Like characters being manipulated by higher powers, either by mind control or just by really good gaslighting.
yeah. Yep.
But like
And then Dick Richard is Dick Richard's a fun character though.
yeah, he is. But like though in this game though, like yeah, they don't do a ton with him. You get to
Yeah.
see how this storyline bears fruit in Sky the Third.
Yep. Yep, it is. And
And
holy shit, does it bear fruit in Sky Third?
yeah, no, it's really good there. Like yeah, like Richard is definitely a character to look out for. Like yeah,
Yeah.
like wait until Sky Third and then like play Sky Third and get to see his story there.
And you'll
It
see
is
why.
so good. You'll see why
Yeah.
that like we gas up this
Dick
character a
Richard.
lot.
We
we we
have
gas
and we
gas
will.
we gas up
For good
we gas up
reason.
yeah no we gas up Alan Richard for a reason.
Yup, like you'll when you get to Sky Third, you'll see why why we've been talking him up so much, cause holy shit. If
Yeah,
you know, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, he's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
but but yeah, like in this game, like he serves his role fine as like an obstacle for the Sky Crew to get across before they have to
Yeah.
fight the Reverie bot at the end. But yeah,
Note, we don't note, I forget if it's related. It's been a while since I've last played Reverie, but we don't know if it's related to that game. But I could be completely
uh,
off base.
I
I've
think
forgotten
that's
so much about Reverie.
yeah, like I want to say that it's just a coincidence, but
Yeah. But we don't know. We don't know.
yeah, yeah, I
I
want
need
to
to
say that's
replay
just a
Reverie before our episode on it because I don't remember much from it
yeah, no, like I
other than
guess
the big
like yeah, we
floppy.
gotta I do remember most things about Reverie, but like yeah,
Do you
for
remember
yeah, like
why?
I'm pretty sure like in that case it's very much like probably just a coincidence because
Yeah.
a lot of the plot things of the Reverie are kind of called back to and like I guess like called back to like a certain part in Cold Steel 2, like all the
Yeah.
this is the real version of this or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah, it's it's been very interesting to go through the Trails series after seeing stuff in first
yeah,
chapter, seeing
yeah, no,
how much
yeah,
payoff
no,
we
like
get for
yeah,
it.
my suspicion is that yeah, they just never really thought about that. Like
Yeah.
they weren't thinking like that many games in advance.
Yeah.
Probably also another reason why first chapter is getting remade. Like first off, to get the game on consoles, so like newer players can play it. But then
And so that way we
also
don't get
like
Reverie.
yeah, and also probably to update certain terminologies and
Yeah.
like things that we know later. And I suspect one of those things is going to be reducing the amount of S rank bracers.
Yeah.
um, because okay, basically yeah, there's the bracer guild has like a rank system, but and then there's like these S rank bracers that apparently are the strongest bracers we know. But like, I'm just gonna say this outright: we don't meet a single goddamn one of them.
We meet one of them.
We meet one, but like he's not an S rank bracer anymore.
Yeah, we meet Cassius Bright.
Yeah,
End of
Cassius
list.
Bright. Yeah, Cassius Bright. He's the father of Estelle Bright. Obvious enough, but yeah,
Yeah.
he's just dad, bro. He
Yep.
does dad things.
I like to call him the Dad Ex Machina because he is the embodiment of the Deus Ex Machina trope at
Yeah,
points.
yeah, no, he saves the party from a lot of like life or death scenarios.
Yeah. And like he was doing the plot while Estelle and Joshua were just doing like Estelle and Joshua are the perspective characters. Cassius is the main character doing the plot stuff in the first chapter and you'll
Pretty
see
much, yeah.
what is happening, what he was doing in the Cold Steel arc. And I will say this,
Uh,
holy shit, that is very nice payoff.
yeah. Well, actually, wasn't it in wasn't it in Zero and Azure when you find out? But I'm not sure
No, I'm
actually.
saying like that's where the big payoff was. Like, oh,
Oh,
that's what
oh,
he
okay.
was doing because he was in Ereboni at the time.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I thought you were talking about something else that I guess would be about
No,
Cassius, Zero and
no, I'm
Azure.
not talking about that.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, but like, yeah, like Cassius, like he's in this game a bit, like he definitely can definitely like his presence is still known even when he's not there, and like, yeah, he's a cool, fun character for this game, and like, yeah, they do explore a bit more about him later, obviously, but
Yeah,
yeah, as like Estelle's, as Estelle's parental figure, like he serves his role for good.
yeah, yeah. Cassius is the most prominent father figure in the series, to my memory, because in
Yeah,
terms
pretty
of like
much, because
protagonist
every
father
yeah,
figures,
because
so
like yeah, everyone else has like very a lot of other characters have very fucking fucked up family situations.
yeah, yeah,
like I know it's kind of like a trope in like a lot of stories that like like parental figures aren't really prominent or they're like dead or they hate their parents or something. But like yeah, Trails
yeah,
definitely has a lot of family drama in it.
yep, yep. We
Yeah,
could.
and like
I
Estelle,
can't wait to get to Zero, Azure, and Cold Steel.
yeah, no, like Estelle definitely like clashes with her father a couple times, but like they still like love each other at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, no, like I just yeah, like first chapter in general is like yeah, this game is very very good. Like
Yeah.
definitely go out and play it.
Yeah.
And like yeah, if I had to like rank this game, it's probably like I'd probably give it like a 7.5, 8 out of 10.
Yeah. It's my sixth favorite Trails game, just barely above Zero and but below Azure. I don't know what I would give it out of 10. Probably
Yeah,
like
like I yeah, for me like it does
8.3,
enough for me. So like
8.4.
yeah, yeah, like
Actually,
seven
no.
point I say like
Higher.
a 7.5 or an 8. And like I
Yeah.
really only give it that low of a rating because like yeah, second chapter and third are
It's
much
just that
better.
much better. Yeah. Like,
Yeah, and like pretty much every game afterwards is better other than
yeah.
two particular ones that I think are lower, but
Yeah. Like, for me, I put Sky first chapter over Zero just because I like I just like the Burl's location more than I like Crossbell. But they are
yeah.
very, very neck and neck. Also,
Yeah, like
second chapter is my favorite Trails game,
Zero
so
and Sky First Chapter are very much I think are very much close in that sense in terms of like arc starting games.
yeah, for Zero and first chapter, I would literally say it comes down to preference, which one you're gonna like more. Like I'm
Yeah, like
not
you prefer
like
like yeah.
it's not
Do you
like
prefer do you prefer like more steampunk esque locations like in
yeah.
Liberl, or do you prefer like more modern aesthetics like that Crossbell has?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. And as for the also to address one thing, the one above my profile, the one above my image on your screens is original PSP box art. It is the one that is currently on Steam. The one above Matthew's image is the Evolution version, which was never released outside of Japan. It might have been released in China or something, but I know it wasn't released
Yeah.
in English is the point.
Um. Yeah. No, it was never released in English. But yeah,
So,
basically, yeah. Like yeah, these are two different versions of the game. Like the only major things that they changed all they updated like the art and visuals a little bit.
yeah, I
Added some
personally
extra
prefer
side
the
quests.
original.
They added a few side quests and like a couple other things. Also, they've changed. They also like remixed and changed the soundtrack a
Yeah,
lot actually.
yeah,
And in
completely
my
new
opinion,
versions.
like some in my opinion, some tracks are about on par with the original. Some are worse, and and
Yeah,
only a few are better. I'd say.
yeah. I mean, for me, it's like the one like my least favorite change is is the final boss theme and the theme for fighting Lawrence, Silver Will or Gendo Ishii. I love the original version. It's my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
song
no,
in Trails,
no,
and
Silver Will. Yeah, no, like
the
Silver
evolution
Will
for
is probably
you go.
yeah, the evolution version is way worse, way worse.
Yeah. I like the evolution version. I do. It's just nowhere near on par. If the evolution version was for a different song, it would probably be I would like it more. But
Yeah,
because it's Silver Will, I just can't in good faith say it's better.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like
Silver Will is probably one of the most iconic like songs in all of Trails.
it's the most.
Um,
I would say it's the most iconic, at least in the Sky trilogy.
yeah, like they play it a couple times in like later games, but like yeah, it's more so like there to play in the Sky trilogy because like
Yeah.
it's mostly associated with one particular character.
Yeah, and a vocal version, Silver Will Golden Wings, is used as the opening for second chapter. Once again, do not look up the second chapter Evo opening; it will spoil you.
Well,
And
we talked about this in the first episode, but yeah, but yeah, once again, avoid the Evo openings
until
if you can
you've
help
beaten
it.
that game, yeah,
Yeah,
because
like
holy
avoid
shit,
those
it spoils
openings.
so
They
much.
spoil major plot elements of
Yep,
every Trails game that has an Evo version.
yep. Also, the Evo versions have voice acting in it, so if you Japanese only. But if you really want to, you can mod it into your PC copy of the game. But that just letting that be known.
Yeah, you can do it. I
I
didn't know
didn't.
about it at the time. I didn't know about it at the time, so like I played the games like as they were intended.
I knew about it. I just didn't want to mod my game. So
Yeah, like I wouldn't have minded doing it, but I will say like I didn't know about it until later.
yeah, yeah. Like I would like going about like the other thing is I don't. It's not that I hate Japanese voice acting. I like it. It's just when it's for a game. I find myself not listen. I find myself being more impatient than with English voice acting. So yeah,
Yeah.
like same thing. And
Yeah.
then there's similar thing with anime, but I won't get into that now. So because
Yeah.
off topic.
Um. Yeah. Yeah. Like, and like Trails is kind of a series where I play in dub because
Yeah.
it's the one that's defaulted on every English versions of these games.
Yep.
Unless you're playing Zero and Azure, where you have no choice but to play in
Where you only
Japanese.
have Japanese. Yeah.
Yeah, because they did not make a dub for those games, but like they're
Which
still
once again,
translated.
fair
So, like,
enough.
fair enough. Yeah, they were doing a lot of stuff at the time. Like they didn't have
Yeah.
enough time to do it. We probably wouldn't
And
have gotten
also
them much.
due to due to the sheer amount of stuff that was dubbed in the Kai version, which Kai is the version that we got, not the Evo version. I'll get into that in a second, but actually we'll get
Yeah,
into
no.
that in the
Oh,
crossbow video. In the crossbow
yeah, we'll
video
talk. Yeah,
episodes.
we'll talk about the Kai versions and like Zero, and when we talk about
And
Zero and
Azure.
Azure later. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, like, but yeah, like, um, and I guess we could talk about one. I guess we could talk about one more character in Sky First Chapter.
Okay.
Um, okay. First Lieutenant Lorenz.
Yes.
Um, he's a character that is shown a couple times in the game. Like him and Agate fight each other
Yep.
relatively early on, and that's your first. I believe that's the first time you hear Silverwill in the entire series.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah,
Is
they
at
fight
the
each
end of
other.
chapter 2, you fight it's a Agate and Lawrence are having a duel, and that at that point that's when you hear Silverwell for the first time.
Yeah, yeah, and Lorenz is kind of he's kind of a jackass, kind of evil guy. Like you don't suspect too much about him, but eventually
Yeah.
you meet him later in the game in Grand Cell Castle, and you have to fight against him. And
Keep in mind,
man,
you only have 3 party members, Estelle, Chloe, and Shara.
yeah,
I
and
consider it the hardest fight in the first
this fight
chapter.
this fight is hard. Like
Yeah.
and also you could lose this fight too. By the way,
You don't have to beat it, but if you do, you get an achievement and you get some BP. You do
yeah,
not need it for
you also
max
get
rank though.
yeah yeah you also get some extra dialogue from
Yeah.
Lorenz.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is
Also,
very worth it.
another prominent thing about Lorenz that he doesn't is that he has a mask on, right? But like
Yep.
during this fight, he takes it off, and you get to see his face.
Yep. And also there is also you also see him with his mask off during the play scene. So,
Yep. And
yep.
you don't
And
know it's him. You don't know it's
you
him at the
don't know
time, but
it's him
yeah.
until you fight him. And all I will say is his fight is very difficult. I would say it's the
It,
hardest fight in first chapter specifically. Make sure you bring confuse resist because that helps so much. Same and also use camphor as much as you can.
it, yeah. Use
He
yeah
can one
yeah.
shot you with both.
Chloe has a move where she throws her bird seed at the enemy,
Yep.
and it increases their strength and defense.
Yep.
Spam that so Luve doesn't kill
50%
you.
each.
Spam that.
50%
Spam that.
strength, 50% defense. Use it on any enemy that you are struggling with. Chances are it can be affected
Yeah.
by it, and it
Yeah,
is
like
makes the
Lauren.
fight
Yeah,
so much easier.
Lawrence can get affected by the stat debuffs. So use it
Yep,
on him.
it is. So it
It
is
is
very useful. Only reason why I
very
won that
very
fight along with having confuse resist because if you don't have confuse resist, you are going to lose.
yeah. This guy will use an art that will just confuse you every time.
Pretty much, yeah. And the other issue with him, he knows Earthguard EX, which means you have to hit him twice to be able to hit
Yeah,
him to be able to damage him
it,
again.
yeah. No, this fight is pretty tough. Like it's
Yeah.
definitely a very much like a test of your skills up until that point.
And
But
that's
it
not
is
even the
possible.
worst of it. He
Oh
can
yeah,
use
oh yeah,
Tyrol
no,
to heal himself.
yeah, yeah, no. This fight is tough. Like
You're meant to
there's a
lose
reason
it.
why yeah you're supposed to lose as part of the story, but like
Yeah.
winning will get you the achievement and will get you the extra dialogue. Basically,
Yeah.
what happens is Lorenz will say, "Oh, I commend your strength, Estelle. I see great potential in you."
Yeah.
And then he just fucking fucks off after that.
Yep, jumps off the walls and jumps off the side of the castle, and there's no ripples in the water or anything, and so you don't know where he
Yeah,
goes or went.
nope, yeah. But yeah, Lorenz is a character they're very much setting up for later. We'll explain in the next episode why, but yeah.
Yeah, and this is probably his easiest fight in
Yeah.
the series.
Yeah, like yeah, this is not the last you'll see of Lorenz,
Nope, it
definitely.
is. This is the by far the easiest, in my opinion, of all of his fights.
Yeah, this is not the last time you'll see him. I'm
His
just saying
fights
this
just
right
get
now. Like
more and more difficult as the games go on.
yeah,
Sky
yeah,
Third is
but
by
yeah,
far the worst of it, though,
but yeah,
in the
yeah,
Nightmare
yeah,
Arena.
yeah, the Nightmare Arena. But yeah, like they're definitely yeah, First Lieutenant Lorenz and Colonel Richard are definitely the two characters to look out for.
Yep, yep,
Wait for them to cook. Wait for them to cook is what I say.
yep. Don't. Yeah, you're gonna want to kill them before they can cook too much, though. Otherwise,
Oh
you'll be the
yeah,
one
yeah,
getting cooked.
yeah, no, but like yeah,
You'll be beyond well done. You'll
and
be congratulations.
you know, like uh, I guess there's like, if you want anything else to add for Sky First Chapter.
Uh, yeah, no, I think that's everything other than giving the tip that don't play East First Trails in the Sky until after you've beaten the Sky trilogy.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, that game has characters from multiple
Second
different
chapter.
trails
Yep.
trails in each games.
Yep. Yep. And then look forward to the second chapter video. But and just look forward to second chapter in general. It's my favorite Trails game. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely for me. It's definitely in the top three.
yeah. Uh
But
I'm probably
yeah,
gonna,
no, like
yeah, we should probably post a our Trails rankings when we're done with when we're
yeah,
caught up in terms of these episodes.
yeah, no, like and like there's still more games I have to. There's still like I still have to
Yep.
play Daybreak 2, and then I'll rank that game once I
Yeah.
finish it. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Currently,
but
for me, Daybreak 1 is either gonna be number 4 or number 5 for me. So,
yeah, Daybreak 1 is in my top five.
yeah. For
But
me, yeah.
yeah,
I need to
okay,
replay
so
Azure at some point though.
yeah, no, but like yeah, okay, but yeah, no, enjoy like yeah, if you made it this far, enjoy your time with Sky First Chapter.
Yep.
Um, enjoy your time with the rest of the series. If you make it past
Yep.
first chapter, we hope to see you on the other side. Spread the word, all that
Definitely
stuff.
spread the word.
Okay, yeah,
Think that's
okay.
everything then?
Um, yeah, I guess it's everything. Yeah, let's wrap up.
Cool. See ya.